Okay, so today we're back at the site that I found a few weeks ago. It's a home site here, and it had a little creepy graveyard, which is right up over there. I found a few things here to include a couple of eagle breastplates and some coins and some buttons. You know, I've been here twice. But one neat thing I did find that's interesting was a copper frying pan. Now this frying pan in itself wasn't that interesting because it was all burned and mangled, but it was down about 18 inches, which tells me it was below the plow line. And that means that someone dug a hole there for some reason and threw that in there. Now that hole could have been a privy, it could have been a cistern, it could have just been a hole he dug for trash, I don't know. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to excavate an area maybe 10 feet by 10 feet, or maybe 5 by 5, we'll see when we get there. We're going to take it down level by level and maybe discover some other treasures that were buried. So let's get at it. So this is the area right here we're going to excavate. You can see this dirt here at my knee. That's where I dug the frying pan. So we're just going to work this little 5 by 5 area. We're going to take it down level by level and see what we can find. See, what I've done is I've dug a little square hole here. I put all the loose dirt that might have artifacts in it along the edges here and here. What you see right there is a pile of grass. That's where I dug all the grass out, so that when we're done here we can put it all back together. The farmer will never even know we dug this spot here. Now keep in mind, this is a crop field and this will get plowed over next year probably, but you always want to leave a place looking good when you're done. I haven't even turned the metal detector on yet, and I've already been finding some stuff. As you go along, you definitely want to be cleaning out any iron that you find. Here's some spikes. That's a railroad spike, surprise, surprise. Find railroad stuff wherever I go. You know, some pottery, odds and ends. So what we'll do now is I'll get the metal detector out. I'll run over the loose dirt here, and I'm also going to run over the stuff in the middle. Now if you look real closely though, this is interesting. I need to show you this. See the ground here? It's got a lot of coal and charcoal in it. It's really hard. You know, that's the natural dirt that I'm digging in. But as you move over, it gets soft. See how soft that gets? That's where I dug that pan out. So that's one way you can tell an area that's been dug before, is you go from a hard packed dirt to a softer dirt. You know, obviously I knew that's where the pan came from, but that's something you can look for when you're digging, especially if you're digging a site that might have already been dug recently. Like at digging in Virginia, you know, we dig out trash pits and whatnot like this. If you get really soft dirt, then you know that it might have been dug out the year before or the year before that. So always be looking out for areas that are softer than the surrounding area. Okay, so today I'm going to be using the T2. I probably could have put a smaller coil on it for what we're doing, but that'll be fine for today. What I'm going to do is I'll set it up for you, show you how I'm going to hunt with it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the sensitivity, I'm going to leave it at 60 because everything we're going to be hearing is going to be very shallow because I've already dug it up. Discrimination, I'll bump that down to 0 to let you listen to the iron that we have in here. Tones, I always like 2+. So let's take a listen to what we have. Maybe something good there, but listen to all that iron, huh? Those are all nails and... Okay, let's go slow. Hear the overload? That overload, that's a big piece of iron. I think that's it right there. So, I have no idea. That looks almost like a latch, or no, I'm not sure what that is. We're just throw it in a pile. You want to do this layer by layer. And if there's a button or a coin, I mean, we'll hear it. But you got to remember, this is the very first layer, so I've already detected this. You know, when I first came here and I found that pan. All right, let's peel it down one more. We're just going to keep digging this down, not a few inches. And I'm not too worried about finding bottles out here. Like I said, this is in the layers that have been plowed and worked over the years. So I mean, it could be a small bottle, but I need to get down about another 6 or 8 inches, and then I'll slow down a little bit. And as I'm doing this, I'm looking for pieces of iron that I can go ahead and take out of the hole, so we don't have to listen to them with the metal detector. And we'll do as much of that as we can. There's something here. Don't know for sure what that. Yeah, it's kind of like a little piece of carbon. Might be out of an old battery, I suppose. Put that in the pile there, and we'll just keep taking it down. I'll show you when I hit the next layer. More nails, a lot of big square nails in here. So keep in mind as I'm digging this, the dirt right here, I've already listened to with the metal detector when I was checking the hard packed dirt. So there shouldn't be anything big in here that I might hit with a shovel, but I do have to be a little careful. I mean, it could be a button or a very small coin or something like that. So that I need to worry about is down about 4 inches. And I'm just taking the top 4 inches off now, flip it up here, we'll check it again, then we'll check the important dirt. So don't freak out too much about what I'm doing. This is a little trowel I'm using for close-in work. But you can see it's really hard right in here. This area right here is where I dug that frying pan. So I took all the loose dirt, set up here on the benches, flatten it out so we can hear stuff with the metal detector better. Same over here. And we'll go over it again. Now listen guys, listen. Okay, I know there's no way I'm going to get everything out of here. I would have to screen this, set up my tripod with my sifter. But you know, if there's a lot of stuff here, I'll do that, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of stuff here, so we'll just keep doing what we're doing for now. I'll get the machine out and we'll listen. Okay, got the detector out. We'll run over the loose dirt first. Remember, this is the dirt that I've really already detected once because it was in that hard pan at the bottom of the hole. Something really small there. Got a little cheek, something small. Let's check the bottom. Down here now, this is fresh, man. This is what the treasure's going to be. It's reading like a coin. Nice piece of brass. There's another one right there. Okay, it's right here. Alright, this is where that good signal was, right there. It's a big rock there, so I'm going to have to pry this rock out. Maybe it's another frying pan. Sounds pretty small, whatever it is. Alright, let's flip that over. See, that's still there. Reading good too. It sounds pretty good size, so hopefully I already broke my trowel. It's all bent up. Okay. That's some iron. That's not a good sign right there. Might be that iron plate. That's probably what I'm hearing. Flat iron will fool you. I suspect that's what it was. Alright, let's try it again. I heard two separate things there for sure, so. Yeah, okay. That's something good. There's a neat little button. That's not what I'm hearing, but quiet you. It's not what I'm hearing, but there's a little, I don't know if that's port, I don't know what that is. I don't guess it's bone, but it could be. Definitely not what I'm hearing now. Ah, there it is. Ah, yes. It looks like almost, pretty sure that's a piece off a saddle, a McClellan saddle. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. It's for a strap guide. Cool. I heard something over here too. Little tiny something there, man. Listen to it. That's good. I can see it. It's a 22 shell. That's not very old. It's 22 casing. Alright, let's dig some more. Alright, so getting warm out here, although there's still snow on the ground. I got down another layer, so this is what, the third or fourth layer. Ground's changing a lot. It's getting a lot less disturbed looking on this side of the hole. But this side of the hole is still pretty dark dirt. I'm not seeing quite as much stuff come out though. But we'll take the machine, we'll run over these dirt piles real quick, check the bottom, and I'll show you what the dirt staining looks like. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so the area in that part of the hole, the soil has just turned a solid color, and I don't think it's ever been disturbed. But this part of the hole is still going down, so I want to explore this a little bit. But if you look at the dirt here, see how light colored that is? Not a lot of stuff mixed in. But down in here you can still see that there's bits of brick and stuff mixed in. So this hole I'm in right here is going down this way, over toward the house. So we'll keep going this way to see if we can get into anything. I'll run the detector over first, and I'll let you know if I find anything. This is getting kind of sad down here. If you listen, there's not a lot of signals. You know, a few blobs of iron, but that little spot of nectar in there isn't going to work out. But I did hear something over here, right in the sidewall. It's reading about 50 or so. Let's see if ooh, that's a little bug. Yeah, so whatever it is right in there. Oh, there it is right there. Look, it's right in the sidewall, right there. That's a kepi buckle from a kepi worn during the American Civil War. That's exactly what that is. Oh yeah, buddy. These things are so fragile. Kind of small. Yep, that's definitely a Civil War kepi buckle. Nice. So what we'll do, we'll just kind of keep going this way toward the house, digging down a little bit more. The stuff behind me, I'm just going to leave it. Just no signal, so we'll keep going this direction. Alright, so this isn't working out too good. I ran out of stuff on this side of the hole, pretty shallow. Trended down this way, but I'm just, all the targets are disappearing. It's still a little bit of brick, but it's not sounding too good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just working the edges of the hole out. I'm going to dig this and move it back into the hole and kind of fill as I go. That way I don't have to have huge piles of dirt out here, and it'll be a lot easier to clean up. I'm just going to kind of work my way toward the house where most of the targets seem to be, slowly. So we'll check that out. Okay, so this is what I'm going to end up with here today. I'm not going to go any deeper because I've really kind of run out of good soil. I am getting some more targets over that direction, so I'm going to dig a shallow trench back toward the house. See all these big rocks? Go ahead and put them in the bottom of the hole. That way the farmer doesn't hit them with a plow in the spring and drag them to the surface. These last hunts I was on, there was a guy that dug a hole like this, and he literally piled the stones on the surface of the ground and made a pyramid when he was done. And I reburied it, stones for him. He never knew I did it, and I should have probably talked to him about it. But be a good guy, Greg. Bury the rocks. Don't be a bag Steve and leave them on the surface. This is where the hole was that I dug out, this area right in here. And I have my stuff piled on the jacket over there, and I'll show that to you. But I got it nice and backfilled. There's a slight hump, which is normal because you can't get it packed down as good as it originally was. But after a rain or two, it will sink a little bit, and I'll come back and check on it again. So, but yeah, this is how we did today. Not too bad, not as good as I'd hoped, but we did find a few things. As far as the iron, you saw a bunch of this as I was digging it. There's some scissors. And spikes. That's a railroad spike. I think this is a pedal off of a step pedal off of a wagon or a tractor or something. A bunch of pottery, nothing too fancy. I did end up with this neat little pocket watch. I don't believe it's too old though. Heck, I might even lost that when I was a kid. I don't know. That's the face to it there. A couple cool little. This is the neatest thing right here. That's a little crowdle bell, which is a sleigh bell. I always love finding these things because my wife collects them, so it makes for a good day when I can find one. Tinkles a little bit, but yeah, that's a really nice one. Small, but it's nice. It's little buttons I found. You remember the bone button, a couple other buttons here. I did end up with one Civil War bullet, and of course this is a kepi buckle that went on the Civil War hat. Got an Indian head penny. Toast, though I don't know if I'll ever be able to read the date. This is kind of a weird little thing right here. This is a glass tube. Looks like it's probably medicinal in nature, but I don't know. I mean, looks like maybe crackheads would use it, but this is obviously from this house site, so it's older than that. This is the part for the saddle. This is the McClellan. I think this goes on a McClellan saddle, but maybe just ordinary military saddles. I don't know. Find them in camps a lot. And that's about it. This is a beat up handle to a pewter spoon. They date from the late 1700s to the mid 1800s or so. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, lots of bones. You always dig a lot of bones around these old house sites. This is real light. It's probably, I don't know what it's to, but whatever meal that they had, they just pitched the bones out the back, and I guess the hogs fed on them. Half of a doorknob here. This button's going to be a nice one. You can see the shank on the back. I thought it was a large cent when I first found it, or a British copper, but it's got that little mark right there. That little mark, that's where the shank was attached. So anytime you see that in the center of a coin-like object, you know it's just a button. Of course, that's the shank that I'm talking about there, where the eyelet is. So, but yeah. So all in all, a good day. A lot of digging, had a good time. I'm sorry we didn't get more. I really thought we would, but maybe next time.